All right, back out here again. Let's talk about some things that I'm actually thankful for in America. Because I think I've rubbed a lot of people wrong with my "Is America worth dying for or fighting for" video. I'm assuming there's a lot of people who might have thought that oh, you hate America, or you're like you can't stand the place. It's like no, that's not true. I just think there is things to obviously talk about. You have to address certain problems where they stand. America is not one of the worst countries, is not the worst country on the planet. I don't think it's particularly the best, and that's a lot of people can disagree with me on that. But there are definitely things here to be thankful for, and I'm just going to go over 5 things that I think that are things that I at least like or I love about America. In spirit of Memorial Day that's happening tomorrow, wherever this video is getting recorded or posted. So let's start off with number 1, and the main reason why I am talking to this camera right now: freedom of speech. I can say pretty much whatever the heck I want about our governmental features or whatever is going on in the system, and I don't have to, at least for right now, worry about cops coming to my front door saying, "Hey, yo, did you say this? Did you say that? Huh?" I've seen what's happening with our good friends over in the UK and in Germany, saying certain jokes or displaying the the Union Jack flag, and then people are telling you to take it down in your own country. That's crazy, So at least in America, you can say what you would like to say, and the government won't at least come after you. Of course, it's not, you can't get away from the consequences of certain things. You have freedom of speech, but not freedom of consequences. Of course, if you say something crazy and a job, for instance, doesn't like what you're saying, well, you can see what happens there. Some people don't think that we don't have freedom of speech because of that, honestly. But I think it's much better here than if I was in the UK or in Germany or something like that, where you can literally be taken to court or have your stuff confiscated because, oh, you said a joke. Seriously? So gotta be thankful for something like that. What's the next thing? Gotta check my notes because it'll keep me from rambling on. Our fast food is the best. Less serious topic, but I believe it, honestly. I've been to a decent chunk of countries, and I think America, maybe it's a bad thing, but I think America does fast food just the best. We clog those arteries in the best way possible and put as many chemicals in our food, and it just tastes, in my personal opinion, fantastic, right? You don't, if you go over to Europe or other places, they don't make food like we do, obviously, because certain ingredients and certain chemicals are banned, which I actually do agree with. But if I ever did move to a country outside of the United States or any time in the future, I would always be craving our good old fast food back home, because it is just, even though it's going to clog your arteries, it will kill you. Yes, it will. There's no disputing that. We are a very fat population. But yeah, our food, even though it's going to kill you, it's going to clog your arteries, you're going to get screwed up. You're probably going to get screwed up from it. I still think our food is the best food that I've tasted in the entirety of the world. Disagree with me on that. Another thing, even though our dollar is getting devalued devalued every day, and it's going down and down, you do have a higher chance of getting yourself out of poverty in the United States, way more than any other types of countries, right? If you're in Venezuela, yeah, good luck, buddy. It's quite clear that that's not a great place to be if you would like to get out of poverty. And then and even when I visited the Philippines, it's kind of like the same sentiment there. It's like, you can do it in the Philippines, it's just much tougher. Here, there are a lot more opportunities if you would like to go from the lowest class all the way to the highest class. Now, figuring it out, that's the tough part. But That's one thing to be grateful here. You do actually have a chance. It's not completely hopeless. There are ways outside of the classes that you are to the higher classes or to more prosperity, especially in America. At least that's one of the thoughts, one of the hopes I have for it. And then what's next? War. Now, of course, we are, as George Carlin says, we are a war-like people. We do tend to be messing around or fucking around with other people's countries, but that's just, we've done that a bunch of times. Not to say I agree with it at all, but the chances of a homeland war here, not excluding a civil war. If a civil war broke out, that would make more sense. But somebody coming from other countries wanting to attack us on our own soil, it's going to be very hard trying to get past, the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. That's kind of a difficult task for one to get some boats on over here, or planes on over here without us noticing it. So, and also, I mean, depending on who you listen to, you might say we have good relationships with Canada and Mexico, but I don't think we're at any time going to be fighting with Canada and Mexico, regardless of what the media says. They could say, oh my God, they're our enemies now, they hate us and everything like that, but it's like, I don't think we'll be fighting with Canada or Mexico anytime soon. So the chances of having a war here, I think are at least a war on our home soil, is very small compared to other countries where you could just like cross the border with a bunch of soldiers, as you can see with like Russia and Ukraine and everything like that. Here, much harder. And lastly, this one's more of a, if you've traveled, you've probably seen this, especially if you've gone to certain lower income, how would I say it? Lower income countries, third world countries, I suppose. You are treated a certain way. You are definitely treated a certain way when it comes to being in those types of countries. Like when I was in the Philippines, you are charged a tourist tax, pretty much. Like if you're taking a boat to go to an island, the locals, obviously, they get the standard fee and you get the tourist fee, which is significantly more expensive because, your currency is higher, right? Personally, in my personal sense, and talking to actual Filipinos who are in America, I personally don't agree with that. I think you should charge everyone fairly. But if you go to other countries, obviously, they hear your voice, oh, American. They see your voice, hear your skin, they see the dollar you pull out. It's like, okay, that's an American. We're going to treat him as such. Or if you go to, other countries I've been to, like if I go to certain malls, specifically Malaysia, what happens is there are floors that you will go on, and then once they realize, oh, you're a foreigner, they will swarm around you like freaking flies. Honestly, it drove me nuts. Honestly, I was there trying to buy tech products, and when I'm buying tech products, I prefer to just buy things and be left alone. If I need help, you can help me, but I prefer to be left alone. They will come up to you and say, sir, you buy a new iPhone, new Samsung, you buy? And it's like, oh my goodness. It's like, no, please. If I want your phone, if I want what you're giving me, I'll come to you and get it myself. But, it's kind of like a social pressuring kind of thing. They'll pressure you into buying stuff, obviously, because, you've got the money and you can probably afford it way more than they can. All right. But those are a couple things that you'll notice when you go to country. Here, it's normal to see a mixture, or the most annoying word, diverse set of people. You see Arabic people, black people, white people, people of all walks of life are here, and it's normal to be treated as a normal person. It's like, oh, you're American just like I am. Right? You're not treated as other or different in other countries. So maybe that's enough on that subject. But just to clarify on that, yeah, I'm obviously not a person. I'm not a person who hates America. I just think it could be a lot better. I think things should be fixed and should be hopefully changed within the future. This isn't me saying that I don't like, or I don't, or going back to the video I previously made, this isn't me saying that I hate America or I wish it will fail. It's like, I hope it succeeds. It's just the way it's going right now. I am obviously cautious about my life here in a sense. It's just like, the future, if you're paying attention to things, future looks kind of shaky, but obviously there are things to be thankful for. There are things to love here. There are things to like here in this country. It is not the worst place on earth, and people should still feel a little bit grateful and blessed that you are in this country compared to other countries in the world. I would rather be born here than in a lot of other places on earth, believe me. So it's affording me the ability to record right now in nature and speak freely. So yeah, that's what I want to say on that. Tell me what you guys are thoughts on, and tell me what you guys are thankful for in America for upcoming Memorial Day. But yeah, don't hate America. I just think it could be a lot better. With that said, cheers.